Hi YouTube, I'm Sherman Smalls, and I wanted to talk about my experience as a Jehovah's Witness, the things that happened in my life, the things that I felt were positive, and also the things that I felt were negative as it related to being a Jehovah's Witness. The first thing I would like to do is I would like to extend a thank you, to say thank you to the people who made videos before me, the people who shared information before me. Uh, the things that they shared proved to be helpful in that it helped me understand that what I was thinking or what I was going through was not uncommon, and the ideas that I had were not crazy. But I also would like to thank them for the courage that they had to put out videos and to put themselves out there, even though they might be confronted with other problems and sometimes abuse. So I just wanted to say thank you for the people who took the time out to share their ideas and thoughts and actually help others to do the same. The first thing I wanted to talk about when it related to Jehovah's Witnesses in my experience, I wanted to talk about change for a little bit. And at the end, we can kind of see how the subject of change applies to the experience some of us might have had or might be having as Jehovah's Witnesses. On the subject of change, a person can ask himself, can one person really change the world? And the answer is going to depend on who you ask that question. Some people are interested in changing the world, and some people have no interest in making any type of change, nevertheless changing the world. But to answer that question, we have to look inside ourselves. One person put it this way. It says, if we're looking to make change, we must be the change that we wish to see in the world. And the person who made that statement was Mahatma Gandhi, speaking about change. Another person who spoke about change was Margaret Mead, and she was an anthropologist, and she made this statement. She said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. So when it comes to making change, there are people out there who want to see change, and they put themselves forward and they make statements and they make videos and they tell stories that can help others, and these things effect change over a period of time. Another famous person speaking about change was Barack Obama. He said this, he says, change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. So our president recognizes the need to make change, and he also recognizes that it's up to us to make change that we feel is necessary. And many of us see the need to change the way we think, or to change the things that we believe, or to change the system of belief that we've been taught over many years. So these things take courage. One other person famous, he said that if we care enough, we would look to make change. So it has to do with how we feel inside and how we feel about those who we come in contact with. Do we care enough to try to help somebody or to make a change that we feel would be in their best interest? Another thing that's very important when it comes to change is that we have a responsibility to make change if we understand something to be incorrect. Susan Sontag said this. She said, the likelihood that your acts of resistance cannot stop the injustice does not exempt you from acting in what you sincerely and reflectively hold to be the best interests of your community. So many times when people make a change, they meet resistance, they meet problems, and sometimes we feel that change may not make a difference. But if we know that there's a need for change, we have a moral responsibility to go forward with helping make that change. And we understand that change to be in the best interests of the people who are surrounding us. So it's our moral responsibility that we have to make change. And this is done by educating people and sharing the things that we understand to be true. Another thing when it comes to this subject of change is the subject of inspiration. And As an example, I was inspired to make this video because I had saw other people making videos, and I found their videos to be effective. So sometimes we're inspired to make a change, as I was inspired. So when someone inspires us to do something, it's a way of showing respect, and it's a way of returning the favor by sharing that information with someone else, or trying to at least inspire someone else to make a change. Many times when people come on YouTube or look at these videos that you might see, they wonder why people would bother, making a video about religion, or the need to change religion, or the teachings that were found to be false in religion. Why bother? But one of the reasons is that people care. People care about other people, and people see the need to tell the truth. People are interested in other people knowing the truth, and other people making good decisions based on things that are true. So we show a person that we care about them by actually sharing information that we have with them, information that we know to be true. When we're enthusiastic about something, that's another way that people understand that what we have to say is important, and that we really are concerned about their well-being. When sharing information, it's also important to earn trust, and the way we earn trust is by making accurate statements, by not saying things that cannot be proven, or not saying things that cannot be referenced. So when statements are made, references are given, like this is what was said, and this is where it could be found, and therefore you have a streamline of why this information is actually true, as opposed to someone just saying things off of the top of their head. So that's a way that we earn trust in sharing information like this that could be disturbing to people, but showing them that the information is actually true. It can be verified. We're not here to criticize people. When you see videos like this, it's not a form of criticism, but it's a form of sharing. It's a form of sharing information. No one is looking to insult your intelligence. No one is looking to say, you were stupid for believing a certain thing for so many years. I myself had a belief system for up to 40 years, and I came to find out that the belief system was inaccurate. And I wouldn't look to be called stupid, but that's just what I had learned, but I've learned better. And so here we have this video. So the purpose is to build people up and not to tear people down. Another thing that's important is when we do have a belief is that we need to stand our ground. And unfortunately, standing your ground could be painful at times. When we stand our ground, many of us have many things to lose. Some of us have lost our families. Some of us have lost privileges. Some of us have lost out on things financially, just because we had a belief that we felt very, very strongly about, and we were willing to stand up for that belief. But when we stand up for a belief, it helps us, and it also helps others that are watching us, because they understand that we are strongly rooted in what we believe, and we're willing to deal with the consequences of following through on what we believe, even under the worst of circumstances. We overcome these things because we stick to what we believe. None of us are perfect, so we admit our flaws. We are active listeners because none of us know everything, and so there is much information to be understood. One way of putting it is that, for instance, our sphere of knowledge is this big, and there are many things outside of that sphere of knowledge, or the things we think we know or understand. So once we understand that there are many things that we don't know, then we're going to be open to learning new things. And reaching for the stars, the sky's the limit. We have a great gift of life given to us by the true God, and we can accomplish many things by following through on this gift that He's given us. So what do we do when we have information? Well, one of the things we can do is we can share our influence. For instance, if we read a book, or if we read something that was published, or if we saw a video that was moving, or very touching, or very accurate, or had information that we know could benefit someone else, we wanna be proactive and share this information with others because it's good information. And so that's the way we can share our influence, not keeping information to ourselves, but if someone is interested in learning more, or learning what is known to be true, then we want to share information that we know to be true with them. So it's kind of like they had a saying, if you ask for one, I'll pass you one. So if someone is interested, then naturally you share that information. Many people have contributed to learning, to helping others. I myself have benefited greatly by videos and lectures and documents and doing research. And so all of these things are contributions made by other people, people who have blazed the path, people who have done research and who have understood things. And so we acknowledge those people. I thank you personally for the information. I thank you personally for providing or putting forth things that I would not have normally known. And thus I was able to do research on my own and draw conclusions. And so for all of these things, the people who blazed the path, I would like to say thank you. When it comes to our knowledge, we understand it to be a matter of humility. Understanding that we don't know everything, and understanding that there's a possibility that what we feel we know could be wrong. And so once we are humble enough to understand that there's a possibility of what we feel we know to be right, there's a possibility that it's wrong, then we're going to be open to listen to other ideas, and we're going to be open to explore other ideas, reflecting on our own humility. And whether these ideas are true or not, it's up to us to research and find out. But humility moves us to want to hear other information and to want to explore and understand other things. When we are in conversations with other people, we're not there to hurt them, or we're not there to win arguments. It's a matter of sharing. It's a matter of sharing information. If the information is true, then they accept it, they research, and everyone is left with their dignity. It's not a matter of winning or losing. It's a matter of, quote unquote, setting people free. And setting people free has to do with sharing things with them that can help them make their own decisions. And the key phrase in that is help them make their own decisions. People need to make their own decisions. No one needs to be told what to do. So based on that, it's never a good idea to give someone all of the information. You give them information they need to be on the right path, and you share with them their responsibility they have to themselves to do the research. They are the ones that need to prove what is true to themselves. It's not a matter of force feeding or handing someone their freedom. Freedom has to be worked for. They need to do it. One person, John Holmes, said, he says, there is no exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. So that's one of the reasons that many find it important to make videos and share things, because they've been freed, quote unquote, and they see the need to free others. Another person who made a very interesting statement on this subject was Harriet Tubman. We know her. She was a freed slave, and she made it her life's work to go and free other slaves. But Harriet Tubman said this, and quote, she said, "I would have freed many others, thousands of others, if they had known they were slaves." So some people don't realize that they're in a bad situation. They recognize the situation they're in to be okay. They don't see a need for change. And so those are fights you may not want to take on. If somebody doesn't see the need to change, then they have the right to be comfortable in what they have going on. It's not a matter of pulling someone out of their comfort zone, but it's a matter of truth, and seekers of truth want the truth, and they want to live by truth. Jesus himself said, when it came to truth, he said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And so that's why it's